Mosca, Mickey, Mosca, 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 Mosca.
All right, let's go ahead and take care of this. This is going to be kind of a two-part video mixed into one so that we can save a little bit of time. First thing I'm going to do is pull up my interpreted performance guide and take a look at this real quick. Let's highlight what you need to talk about. So the first part is collaborating around computing. That has been very difficult with COVID. Usually I like to have you guys working alongside each other a lot more, but you guys have done a good job with that as well for the most part. You guys have been talking with people a little bit more this last week or two because you kind of have to get their opinions. So talk about what you did, whether it's having people test your app, whether it's helping them, having someone else help you, give you ideas. That's what we're looking for. And I know that might be kind of hard, but you should be able to find some places that you've done that. The next part, developing a program with a purpose. What is the purpose of the program? You'll hear me say that every now and again. I'll look at the app and I'm like, yeah, but why? But why? Why are we doing this? So that's the other part. Once we move on to the purpose, be able to describe an algorithm. Where was there some math going on that you had to continually go through, and it's a repeated series of steps that keep happening. Next one, applying abstraction. Abstraction is taking something complex and simplifying. So where did we do that at? Where did we take a look at, maybe how, I don't know how it did it specifically, but I'm going to explain what it does. So it's just kind of knowing what it does, but not specifically knowing the ins and outs. Testing and refining. At this point, if you're not incrementally testing, you are going to struggle, because as you go through, you're going to make mistakes. But if you just try to do everything from the very beginning to the very end without making any adjustments, you're going to get a little lost in the assignment. So you got to be able to incrementally test. How did you do that? And the last one is just your presentation ability. If we make it on video, because I have a couple students that are going to do it that way because they're unavailable. The other option would be to talk about in front of the class. How do you do with that? Trying to keep this under 2 to 3 minutes. For some of you, maybe like myself, you get a little wordy. Maybe it goes into 5 minutes. But so that's the guide that's included on your PLTW under 1.16. So now I'm going to slide over. I'm going to do my presentation. All right. So my name is Mr. Arrogant. I'm going to be presenting my app. This is the two-player guessing game. This is a two-player guessing game. I used a lot of collab in this because I wanted to come up with an idea, and maybe that goes along with purpose. We wanted to come along with an idea that we could play higher or lower, hand the phone to someone and have them continue to play it and just have some fun and basically do some time wasting as we ride on the bus. And so some of the collaboration was that we looked at the app, and I'll pull up the tablet right now. If you look at this isn't what it looked like before. It was kind of boring. The text was small. It didn't exactly look great. So some of the changes that they offered to me was, Johnny had asked. Johnny said, hey, I don't like the background. It's all white. It's kind of boring. Look at the text. It's small. It's hard to read. I had some generic items in here, like hint for text box 1. He said that looks bad. So some of those collaboration pieces, that's what we looked at. Next part, the purpose, just having fun with it, passing the time. That was kind of our purpose. And then now I'll go into some of the algorithms. So I'm going to go over the algorithm that's included in this guess button click. So when you're playing the higher or lower game, I say guess a number between 1 and 100. And from that guess that you have, I have to make a decision. Is it the right number? Is it too high? Is it too low? And so based on that, we're going to have that cycle through. We're going to have it go through and do the math, the comparative and analysis to see, is this correct? And not only is it correct, do we have enough guesses? Because we're going to give them a number of guesses. So, and if you look at this algorithm right here, here's my 3 options. If they have enough guesses and the number's right, you win. So for the next one, do they have enough guesses? Is the number lower than the secret? If it's lower, you say higher. And then the converse of that, you say, if it's too high, you say lower. So The other option is that we go through here, and if they're out of guesses, we tell them they lose. Also, you check to make sure it's a number. So that's just going to keep going through as you click. In this same piece right here, we're going to talk about abstraction. Abstraction took place whenever we had the guess button click. I don't know how the tablet looks and you pick it up and you touch it and it knows that that's a button click, but I do know what a button click is, so I know what it does. So I don't need to know all the complexities of that. So testing, I tested this a lot as I went just to make sure it made sense. I used a testing label where I could just kind of see the number, make sure that the number was popping up correctly. So I went through, tested it, see if it worked, moved on to the next step, and tested again. Made sure that everything was functional and fixed any errors as they came up. So let's take a look at the app and I'll demonstrate what it does. So for this, my number is a 12. Put it in. Type in a number. So this would be the second player's guess, and it says guess lower, guess a 1. This is guess higher. Maybe a 10 this time. This is guess higher. 12. Bingo, got it. Had I ran out, it would have just kicked me out. It would have said you lose. Okay? So at this point, I would be able to play the game again. I hit the reset button and it goes away, and I can go ahead and start playing again. So guess, it says 50, it says guess lower, and it guess 25. So you can see how this could keep going. So just to show you that it does check the number of guesses. Boom, out of guesses, you lose. After also collaborating with Johnny, he told me, Johnny said, hey, I can't even see this when it comes up. Can you brighten it up? So that's why I went with that kind of ugly blue color and pink, so you could quickly see that, and you can see it opens back up to play again. All right, so that concludes my presentation, everything you're supposed to hit on. Just make sure that as you're going through today presenting and practice presenting, this is kind of what we're looking at. So I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Muska, muska, Mickey. Muska, muska.